he was quietly, because Cam Jordan got all the press of the Senior Bowl, Ballard was right up there. Chargers. Sharice Wright to the Chargers. That's the Chargers type of pick. I think that means Gilchrist will play safety. Wright, big upside. Big upside with him.
I think he's a better player than the kid from USC that the Colts drafted in the third round, Kevin Thomas, last year.
And Kevin Thomas, yeah, I mean, I think Sharice Wright has some of those, some injury concerns there, some maturity concerns there, but you can't really deny the talent with him. He's just never been able to put it all together. So
well, the Lord No Rings has done a little better with his last two picks.
Yes, he's stepped it up a little bit after taking the Michigan guy.
Now, let's see, Philly, have they taken a corner yet?
Let's see.
I think there's some good ones available.
Oh, I think there's some great ones available. I still take some upside in that. I heard they like Brandon Burton. That's going to be my guess with this pick. They got Jarrett, but I think if they're going corner, I'm thinking it's going to be Brandon Burton from Utah.
Yeah, you got Curtis Brown there. Yeah, my corner's available. I got Curtis Brown, Brandon Burton, Devon House in that order. I know Stuber thought Devon House. In fact, Stuber was trying to convince me to put Devon House to Philly in the second round of my mock.
I like Devon House a lot. I'm a big fan of his.
And I believe I had taken Jaleel Brown in the third round of my final mock, so that's another guy I like. I like Jaleel Brown. I thought he was the best cornerback at Senior Bowl. He's in. They need a linebacker. Colin McCarthy.
Yeah, do they take a risk with that injury issue? With all the injury issues they've had at linebacker, I think McCarthy is, you know, a Chris Spielman injury away from happening.
But they did in the past. They took a chance on Stuart Bradley when he has injury concerns, durability concerns. So did they get scared off by doing that, or is that a trend they're going to continue?
Yeah, and that's what the problem with trying to figure out the NFL draft is. You never quite know exactly if it's within someone's becoming a trend, or they figure out, whoops, that's not exactly what we meant to do.
Well, we're pretty close. We're on the right track.
Yeah, I like Curtis Marsh. I wish we would have gotten to see him in Senior Bowl. I think I would have liked him more. I know he's one of Wes Bunning's favorite players in this draft.
I take a little issue with it, and I like Curtis Marsh, but my problem is the Eagles need a starting cornerback now.
Yeah.
And Curtis Marsh is a project. This guy's this is a former running back. He's played quarterback for 2 years.
2 years, yes.
Is he going to be able to step in and play the type of role that they need him to play as a rookie? Whereas you go to Jaleel Brown, I mean, that guy's played a lot of big-time football. You plug him in, he could step in day one. Curtis Brown, same thing.
Yeah, so I think it'll be interesting. He is a little bit of a project, but the upside's definitely pretty huge. So
yeah, he was the guy I was disappointed that we didn't get to see more at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, because I think he really could have helped himself. Atlanta on the clock after making that big Julio Jones pick. Now the talk of Ray Edwards, do they look defensive end here? I'm thinking corner. I think one of these upside corners, Devin House, Johnny Patrick's off the board now. Maybe Brandon Burton. I'd like to see them take that.
Well, and what's available at defensive end? Acho's probably my top defensive end left, I believe. Acho, Romius?
I think Romius would be a good pick if they're not thinking free agency.
Yeah.
Boz in the chat, one of the Falcons fans saying outside linebacker, perhaps. I don't know if I see the value there.
I think McCarthy's a 3.
Yeah. I just think McCarthy would play the same role Sean Witherspoon plays. I don't know if that's the best fit for the Falcons.
I don't know. See, Romius is another situation with the medical.
Yeah, that's where we don't know. Lawrence Wilson, someone said in the chat room. That could be intriguing. Huh.
Gruden just say he doesn't know what to do with Bailey?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, that's kind of a sentiment that we've echoed.
Yep, that's the thing. You know, and there are some people out there now. I don't agree with this. There are some people who think maybe he could bulk up and play inside linebacker in a 3-4. Or not bulk up, but that he could. They could mold his weight to make him be an inside linebacker.
To me, he's a 5 technique. He's just not. He's not explosive. He doesn't have a lot of pass rush moves, but you bulk him up, let him use that natural brute strength to take on blockers. He's a 5 technique. It's, like I say, I just wonder if his reluctance came through in the interviews with teams like it did to me.
That it really did. And if you're going to do that to someone like us, where you can easily, we're not asking you hard questions here, guys.
No.
You can easily say, I'll play anything, and then we believe you. That doesn't bode well when you're in a room with a general manager who's going to grill you and get everything out of you that he needs to. So.
And a team doesn't want to take you if you're not going to be happy. They don't want an unhappy player in their locker room.
No.
That doesn't serve anybody well.
It really doesn't help you. It really doesn't help you. So that's right. Yeah, I don't know, but the value's good. If his coaching staff feels they can mold him into something. I mean, he had great protection at Miami. You know, I saw him against Jason Pinkston, and he had some things against Pinkston. I saw him against the Ohio State's O-line, dominated them. So it's a player that has produced despite not really having that NFL position.
I'm saying Acho here for the Falcons. No, that's wrong.
Akeem Dent, so taking a local kid, so linebacker, Boz was right about the linebacker. I think slightly high for Akeem Dent, but I know a lot of people were moving him up boards towards the end. What do you think about him, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, I had him 99, so right around that area. And you know, Georgia linebackers have a pretty good history. They produce some pretty good linebackers. You know, I thought he was more of an inside guy, though. I imagine they're going to look at him outside because they have Curtis Lofton. So
right. So I think, but if you can start Dent, if you can develop into starting Dent, Lofton, and Weatherspoon, I like that trio, and I think they complement each other pretty well.
And he's got pretty good speed. He ran low 4.7s.
Yeah. I think he can get sideline to sideline pretty well.
Yeah, he's not just a thumper or anything like that. So.
Someone asked, well, what about Christian Ballard? Is his fault purely this drug test, or is this something that was kind of written, that was writing on the wall before the combine stuff came out?
Well, I think the drug test played a big role in it, and then you just wonder, too, if there's more things back there that we don't know about, if that was an indicator of other things.
Man, I like him as a player, though. I mean, at the Senior Bowl, I was kind of trying to get into this, but Cam Jordan got the press, but I thought Christian Ballard was pretty close. I mean, he was pretty dominant for a player at his size. You know, I really like what I saw from him. I thought he could even play defensive end in a 4-3 and be fairly effective.
Yeah, and he showed that. You know, he kept cutting weight throughout the whole process. I think he was down to like 272 or something at the pro day. So he's shown he can go anywhere from 270 to almost 300 pounds. The Oakland Raiders. What are we looking here? Who's fast?
Oakland's on the clock.
Edmund Gates, right? Edmund Gates is pretty fast.
Edmund Gates pretty fast. Buster Skrine, we can take another.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, I don't rule it out.
Yeah, I'm not ruling anything out. Still that safety from Ohio a few years back, Michael Mitchell.
I don't know if Stanzi's a fit, but
Duffman says Taiwan Jones. Just get that out of the way.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe one of these tight ends. You know.
I tell you what, I'd like Taiwan Jones in that.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe one of these tight ends, just interesting because Zach Miller could be a free agent depending on the next rules. So you're looking at guys like Virgil Green and Julius Thomas, DJ Williams, that may be intriguing to Oakland.
I tell you what, I'm kind of leaning Taiwan Jones.
Yeah. I mean, Darren McFadden, Michael Bush going to be a free agent. They do need someone back there with McFadden.
I think he'd give them a little bit of a different dimension.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they're not really looking for a compliment, per se, to Darren McFadden.
I'm going Taiwan.
I'm going to go... I'm gonna go Christian Ballard.
That's a good call too.
Yeah, let's do that.
We're gonna find out in a second here.
Yeah. Well, there's
a little bit of a reach.
Matt McGuire's guy.
Yeah, yes, very true.
Barksdale. A little bit of a reach, but talk about athleticism at the offensive tackle position.
I believe, was it 3-4 year starter in the SEC? A lot of experience.
Yeah. So he has a lot of experience.
Probably around, if not too early, but
yeah, probably a bit.
But like we know, Al Davis marches to the beat of his own drum, so.
He does, and I could see him being a nice reserve. Now, they got a few offensive linemen last year. Jared Bell here worked out. They got Bruce Campbell last year. So, can any of these guys play guard? I don't think you're kicking Barksdale inside.
No, and see, now this is the pick, too, that they gave up next year's second rounder to get this, and then the fourth rounder.
To get that fourth rounder. So, they must have really liked Barksdale.
Yeah.
The Bears are on the clock, having a very good draft. Gabe Carimi traded up for Stephen Paia. They have a 3rd, 5th, and 6th left, including this pick being their 3rd-round pick. Do they look secondary here? Do they look wide receiver? I know you mentioned that before, Scott. Greg Salas still on the board, Tandon Doss.
Edmund Gates.
Edmund Gates. Wow, how about Gates and Knox back together? I like it.
Well, just going back to Oakland for a second, I just pulled up their depth chart.
Yeah.
Barksdale's going to have a pretty good opportunity. The only right tackle really they have on the roster is Mario Henderson. He's a free agent, and I think he just got in trouble. I think they're kind of down on him. So, he could very well end up starting as a rookie.
Yeah, it could happen. That I'm not sure if you want that to happen, but.
Well, in Chicago here, I'm kind of leaning receiver because they have been need-based with their draft.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive tackle, defensive tackle. I think wide receivers right up there. Maybe a corner. I think they could use some help there.
Yeah, I think Burton could be an interesting pick.
Yeah, Devon House.
Devon House.
I tell you, I'm almost leaning either Devon House or Josh Thomas. Good cover two type corners.
Yeah, I saw you having Josh Thomas. I didn't watch a lot of Josh Thomas tape, and I got him last week. I literally watched some Buffalo tape. So, if he goes, I think I'll have to have you talk about him a bit. But
well, he's a big kid. He's a cover 2 corner.
Yeah.
You want to face the action. Yeah, I don't know that you want him necessarily flip the hips and try to turn and run with speedy receivers, but let him face the action. Yeah, I think this would be a good fit for him, and safe for Devon House.
Yeah. Say very safe for Devon House. I'll still go Edmund Gates. That's very intriguing to me.
I'm gonna say House and then Josh Thomas as Plan B.
But the Bears are having a good draft, and so if they make a nice pick here, I think if they get Devon House for Edmund Gates, this could definitely be the best draft in my opinion.
Yeah, it's good. It's right up there for me right now.
Let me see if there's any questions. Packers. I think we actually mentioned that before, but I think Packers will probably look maybe for a little pass rush at the end of this round. I think Carolina's the last pick of this round.
Yeah, but what's there at the pass rush too, though? Acho? Acho's a fit.
Yeah, I don't think that's a Ted Thompson player. So, what else could they look? The end. I mean, if Ballard's still on the board, is that someone that Thompson would look at? They take that chance?
I'm trying to think if they take a chance on guys before with the character.
Yeah, I mean, maybe after Colin Jenkins stuff, they may not want to do that.
That's a value pick though, and that fits the mold of the size speed.
Yeah, that's very true. So I think it's, and for Dom Capers, I really like the Dom Capers fit for him too.
Ooh.
Chris Conte. Now, Chris Conte's an intriguing pick. I'm pretty high on him. Matt Baton